Release the hounds.
Hi, we're Ian and Julie. Follow us on our tiny homestead and our debt-free project of a lifetime, the building of a home here in the Pyrenees, and all of this alongside our full-time jobs.
Good morning. We are free. We are back on site. We have nobody else coming this year. It is totally 100% on the plot and on the build. Oh, it just feels great. This last week has been fantastic though. I have been stuck in that garage with my little rally car and a guy called Duncan Topless who runs Retro Renault, and he was the actual guy that built my engine, and we've both been in there trying to sort out the car, and I'll tell you a bit about that in a minute, but ultimately it's all good. So we're back on site. It's basically, we've only got a day to get this video out, so it's going to be a short one, but we're just going to do a little bit of electrical work because I've started the cabinet for my workbench. It's the first cabinet I've ever built, but I'm having problems, as you know, with my power supply, that when I put on my big heavy machinery, even the Hoover, it basically trips down the circuit. So somebody who watches here, Solar Function, he sent me basically a method of getting around it, and I'm going to try that out now and see if it all works. The actual unit I bought last time, a commercial unit, didn't work. Sent that back, got my money back, and now I bought the actual components to try and have a go myself. Dogs are out, as you saw, running down the field. They haven't been up here for a week. Weather's been awful, just raining constantly. Nice sunny day today, but we've also got the our friendly cows are back just down there, so they're munching up the field as they go. I wish I could just take my fence down, or the farmer could take his fence down, and they could munch all our grass. We were hoping to get the delivery, Julie's new machine this week, but Julie went in yesterday, and the people in the shop, because we actually made the deal at the agricultural show, as you know, last week, nobody in the shop knew anything about it, so we're a bit disappointed. So they're delivering it this week, next week, Tuesday. Hopefully we'll be able to get some of this all munched down and to test it out. It'll be a good test, and hopefully it will have dried out a bit by then. But let's get into the workshop and get this project started. Oh, that was good. And as you notice there, we have a few extra bits and bobs, but that's going to be another project. But I'm really chuffed that I found these units in France, very similar to the ones that they have in the US. So if they work, then that's great. And another, not new toy, but I just got so fed up with that DeWalt. I just cracked and went and bought a brand new planer. So at least we can get all of that wood at the back there planed and onto this building. That's why I've been putting it off, because that the DeWalt it's just not pulling through, and I've changed the rollers, I've changed the blades, done everything that you read up on it, and it just doesn't work very well. So we'll get that out very shortly, and we'll get that wood done as well. But let's get back to this small electrical project.
Lunchtime's always the best time to come and wash one's horse rugs, because nobody knows I'm doing it. Tyson's going to be clean.
So to try and avoid that tripping out, the inrush current, I'm going to put together a small unit using these little thermistors basically. Now this is what I was hoping that commercial unit that I tried would have done for me. Now you can just have these on one of the legs, the live leg, but I'm actually going to put them on both live and neutral. And I'm just going to open them up. I just bought these off eBay, and they were probably about €8 for, how many do you got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to go for 4 of them. They are 6 amps each, so you know that's a good 24 amp capacity on these. So these just go in parallel. So I'm going to put them all in parallel. I'm going to have my live and neutral here, and that's just going to go into a block. Sorry, I'm left-handed here. Into a couple of blocks, and then I'm going to have the thermistors, 4 of them, same here, into another block just to parallel them off, and then out of here will be my socket, and that'll be basically the circuit. I'm not going to bother about the earth just for a minute. This is a simple test. I'm just going to use these WEGEGA connectors because they work pretty well, especially on braided wire. So I'll just lift these up, these little levers. I'm going to place one in there. Yep. There we go. One in there. That's got it good. Right, I'll just carry on putting these in. The live will go in one. As I said, you could get away with just putting them on the live, but I just want to make sure. There. So that's one leg done. The output there will go off to my socket, and I'll do that in a minute. I'll just do this for the neutral. So just putting these little flying leads in there and there, and then put them straight. I'll just trim these, actually they're probably a bit long. And that goes into the socket like that. So that's my little test rig. So that will go in. If it works nice, I might have to put a bigger, I've got a bigger box, I'll put that in there. But that's my inline inrush current suppressor, hopefully. Let's test it. So I'm going to plug it into where I have the Hoover plugged in, which is just a socket on the board. Plug my Hoover in, and let's see whether this contraption is going to work. Separate them a little bit. Here we go. Well, I think I call that a win. I'm just gonna, they've warmed up a little bit. So that seems to have worked. Right. I'm going to have to incorporate that into a small box now, and to make it safe, and then wire it into my main breaker here for my socket. So I'm not going to wire it in for the whole board because these are rated 6, and I've put a fifth one in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's supposed to be 30 amps there, but we will see.
After my incident with chopping the end of my fingers off, this is the first time Ian's allowed me to use this machine. Ooh, here goes. I just have to wait for all the little green buttons to light up. Yep, there goes. Floki, where are you? Here he comes. Note to self, Jules, keep both hands on the cutter at all times. I am not going to mess with anything. Here goes. The reason I'm doing this little trek here, the dogs hate the long grass even though they're in it at the moment, but once I've gone round this little path I've done a second time, it's so funny. The dogs just follow it and they will not go in the long grass. They're so funny with their little 2-inch legs. Here goes.
This, I'm hoping, is just a temporary solution. I'm looking at other inverters that I can use the main output power instead of that emergency, the EPS power. And that's why I'm having this problem with the inrush current, because my emergency EPS power is only a 3 kilowatt input, where it is a 6 kilowatt inverter. So on that output, it's all good. But because I'm off grid, it can't use that. So that's why I'm stuck with this 3 kilowatt and all my problems. I mean, the big test is the saw. I don't think it will work. It's just going to draw too much from that inverter. So it's not all about the inrush current, it's how that can handle that 3 kilowatt. So I'm going to try it. Fingers crossed it will work. But if not, it's a matter of a new inverter. Here we go. Nah. So I think the solution is a new off-grid proper inverter. So I will start searching again.
Now I'll give my girls some treats. They've had their breakfast. Oh, my little girl. Come on, then. I seem to have squashes that have self-seeded and the girls have been nibbling at them. But this, I don't know where the seeds came from. I've just let it do its thing, but all on the inside, the girls have nibbled away. Let's see, do they deserve a treat? One egg! The lazy little madams.
So the problem with the engine, all of that stress was this tiny little brass bush just here. So that was missing out of the crankshaft. So the drive shaft would go in, and normally it would be pretty solid, but this was rattling around like that, and the oil was coming out the end of the gearbox seal. So it was basically going round and round like that and pumping the oil along the shaft into the bell housing of the engine and dropping out here all from the flywheel. You can see there's a little bit of coolant there because we did a lot of undoing of various hoses while trying to get it all sorted. So absolutely totally dry of oil now. So all of that problem was fixed by that tiny little bush. The other issue I had was an overheating problem. So at a steady sort of 70k an hour, which isn't a great deal, it would sit at about 80 degrees, which is all normal. But as soon as I put my foot down or went up a mountain, one of the quite steep inclines, about 5%, the engine would just basically go into overheat. It would go to 110, 120 degrees. And even with an extra fan on the radiator, all brand new radiator, new water pump, everything in the water cooling system was renewed, it would still go up to about 110. Now, another guy I know said, that could be a fuel problem. It was running lean and basically the head overheats because it's not drawing enough fuel. And yeah, that's what it was. On the carburetor, there's various jets and all of these are of various sizes. Now, on my older engine, I think I had a similar overheating problem, but I didn't really sort of understand it. So on these jets here, because it's going to a slightly larger engine, it's requiring a bit more fuel. So luckily I had this spare carburetor and just out of luck, it had larger jets on it. So I swapped these larger jets onto my other engine in the car and went out testing, and it never went above 85 degrees. I think it might have smidged up to about just under 90 when I was really hammering it up one of the mountains just locally, but it never went above an out of control sort of temperature. So just that tiny little jet fixed the overheating, and that tiny little bush in the end of the crankshaft sorted out all of those oil leaks. So I'm near enough there. We are near enough ready to re-enter the Rally Monte Carlo for 2025. Let's just go and see how Julie's doing. The grass is too wet really, it's been raining for days. Have you still got all your limbs?
Right, this is how stupid I was. Look, you take your hands off, it stops. I have no recollection of what I did other than blind panic when I saw the blood. Oh, I can't believe I'm using this thing again, Ian. These fingers are numb. Ian couldn't resist taking over. Ah! No! Ian, stop it! Go away! Ah! Stop it! Ian! I hate this machine. I fell out of love. It is good though, but I'm not very good on the controls, as we found out.
I must say the little van is looking good outside the garage. Really pleased with it. I've been using it all the time. One problem, Julie took it to the specialist tow bar company all the way up in Toulouse. It's called France Attelage, and attelage in French is tow bar. So they put on a specific Kangoo tow bar with the original Kangoo wiring harness. All looks good. Paid the extra for it. It's probably another 90 euros for the original Kangoo harness. It cost 350 euros to install. The indicators don't work, and which are on a 13 pin plug on here. That's pin 4 and 1, left and right. Neither of them work. And look at this. This is how they've cabled it. So from the left to the right, look at that. A cable that goes onto the top bulkhead using basically gaffer tape to stick it to the bulkhead. So as soon as the sun comes out and this roof gets heated up, that'll all just fall down. What professional company would do an installation at 350 euros just for the install? In total, it was just a tad under 600 euros to get this tow bar installed. Not happy at all. I was fuming when Julie came back from the garage. She'd waited up there 2.5 hours for them to do it, so it wasn't exactly a rush job. All the cables are all plug and socketed, so it's just a plug and play into the vehicle. And how many of these must have tow bars? It is a very standard work vehicle, and they still just taped it to the inside. So I've complained and they want me to go back up there, but that's 100k, 200k round trip, all at my expense because of their bad workmanship. So I'll see how it goes. I'll go back up there and see whether they think that is acceptable, but not into my standards. That is absolutely awful. Now, I installed the camera on the back. I'll show you that. This is the camera here, reversing camera for Julie. I managed to hide all the cables going up into this, the rear light, brake light repeater. That comes all the way down behind this board, threaded through where it should be threaded through with all the other cables, and then that goes hidden all the way underneath the top, the cabin roof lining, to that mirror there. And that mirror there is actually the video monitor. So it looks like a normal mirror, but that's actually the reverse camera. Works absolutely perfectly, but there are 0 cables showing. That's how the installation should be, in my opinion.
Free, what's that? What have you got? Is he in there? Where is it, Free? Where is it?
Oh, it runs a treat now. Just a few little tweaks and tunes with the jets on the carburetor, but I think we're nearly there. So it's just lots of testing and lots of proving itself before we actually sign up for the rally. So hopefully. Bonjour. Oh, goodness. Well, I can't resist. I've got to get it out of the box and just test it on a couple of little pieces. So when we come back next time, we can actually start on that big pile of siding over there. New tools, new tools. Ugh. Just annoyed at that DeWalt, really. Oh my gosh. I'm assuming it goes here. This is the dust collector. That's a better way. So you can actually take it off to store, where the DeWalt one is screwed on permanently with a screwdriver, so you can't actually shut the door. There's a little meter, similar to the DeWalt, but this one's got a nice rounded thing instead of a bit of metal that always got caught. Let's have a look. Putting him up. I'm just going to try it basically at 0 first, just to see whether the rollers take it through. Right, here goes. Stop. I'm going to lock that off, and then the scale, I'm going to come down 1 millimeter. There. Let's try them again.
We've never had a piece of wood go through on its own. This is exciting.
Destined for Facebook Marketplace.
We are so excited. I can't believe this is so soft, Ian. It's lovely. One pass and it's done that. We've struggled with our other machine doing all the siding to this garage workshop. And that would, I know you keep telling us off in the comments, finish the back. But now we've got this, there's no excuses. We were really putting off doing that because it's the Ian and Julie push and pull. It's such hard work doing that siding. But now we've got this, next job, we've got to get it done.